Before compost bins and liquid fertilizer jugs, before garden centers sold bottled microbe boosters, there were brews. Not the kind you drink, but sacred infusions made by hand, from plants, fruit scraps, and the ash of old fires. These weren't just fertilizing concoctions, they were offerings poured onto the soil to awaken the underground ancestors. Earthworms, fungi, and ancient microbial allies were called back to life with ladles, not labels. Today, many gardeners search for the next quick fix to revive lifeless soil. But what if the solution doesn't come in a box? What if instead, it comes from 3 humble brews and a forgotten way of seeing the soil as something sacred? In this guide, we'll walk you through a true backyard experiment done on 3 raised beds using 3 different ancient-style liquid infusions. Each one was poured with intention, and within days, each bed showed signs of transformation. Most notably, earthworms returned, drawn to something they recognized deep in their evolutionary memory. Okay, let's explore these 3 earth-reviving brews: compost tea, fermented banana water, and the ash and herb infusion. We'll cover the principles behind each method, how to prepare them, how quickly they worked in our beds, and why the indigenous perspective of pouring life into the soil could be, honestly, the key to fixing our dead garden beds. Compost tea, the microbial resurrection brew. The first raised bed received an age-old preparation known today as compost tea. Long before aerated buckets and fancy air stones, indigenous farmers brewed it in clay pots. They soaked compost, leaf mold, or worm castings in water, not to dissolve nutrients but to wake up microbes. So, to make this brew, we added 2 shovelfuls of forest-rich compost into a 5-gallon bucket of non-chlorinated water. We stirred the mixture twice a day by hand for 48 hours. No pumps, no tech, just water, compost, and movement. Once it was ready, we poured it evenly into the raised bed, especially around the root zones. Within 3 days, we noticed visible results. The mulch layer began breaking down rapidly. On the morning of the 3rd day, tiny tunnels snaked through the topsoil. Earthworms had arrived, feeding at the surface before retreating into deeper layers as the day warmed. So what was happening? Well, the compost tea had actually reawakened dormant bacterial colonies in the soil. That biological activity, slightly warms the upper layers of soil, breaks down plant residues more efficiently, and creates a perfect buffet for soil-dwelling creatures. Earthworms follow the microbial bloom like predators track prey. Compost tea isn't a modern invention. It's really the distilled memory of how people once nourished their crops with what was already on hand. Indigenous traditions viewed this kind of brew as a sacred wake-up call for the soil, a gesture of life given back to the land. Fermented banana water, the potassium pact. The second raised bed was treated with a nutrient-rich, high-energy brew made from bananas. This fermented banana water draws from tropical and subtropical farming traditions, where fruit ferments were used to build up plant resilience, soil fungal networks, and microbial vitality. We made it by chopping 3 overripe banana peels and placing them into a 1-liter glass jar. A tablespoon of brown sugar helped jumpstart the fermentation, and we filled the jar with dechlorinated water. After leaving it loosely covered for 7 days in a warm shaded corner, the mixture turned fizzy and fragrant. This was a sign that beneficial microbes had activated and were producing enzymes, acids, and nutrients. Once strained, we poured the mixture evenly into the second raised bed. This one had previously been dry and compacted with patchy mulch and little biological activity, but within 5 to 6 days, a silken white fungal mycelium began to colonize the top layer. It looked like spiderwebs crisscrossing beneath the straw. That's when the worms came. They appeared not to feed directly on the banana peels but rather on the fungal matter growing from them. Unlike the compost tea bed where worms surfaced individually, this bed attracted them in groups. They clustered under mulch and along decomposing stems. Fermented banana water isn't just sweet-smelling compost juice, it's a fungal stimulant. And in many indigenous practices, especially in regions like the Andes and Southeast Asia, similar brews were poured as a first offering to wake up fungal spirits in the soil. This practice was often performed before the planting of root crops or grains. Ash and herb infusion, the forgotten fire tonic. So, the third bed received the most unusual, but in some ways the most spiritual of the three preparations. It was made from the ash of a ceremonial fire, infused with healing herbs, and sweetened with molasses. This fire tonic draws on ancient European, Andean, and African traditions that saw fire not as destructive, but as cleansing. To prepare it, we sifted 2 tablespoons of hardwood ash into a large container. We then added 1 handful each of fresh yarrow and plantain leaves, both known for their regenerative and antifungal properties. Finally, we stirred in a teaspoon of blackstrap molasses to energize microbial life. We covered it and let the brew steep in warm rainwater for 24 hours. The next morning we poured the mixture into the third raised bed, working it gently into the top layer. Unlike the other 2 beds, there was no immediate change, but by day 6 the texture of the soil had softened significantly. Areas that were cracked and dry now held moisture longer, and the pH, which had been leaning acidic, began to neutralize. By the 8th day, earthworms started surfacing at the edges and corners. They appeared more gradually than in the other beds, but their activity was consistent and lasting. This ash-based infusion did more than feed microbes. It balanced the chemistry of the soil. Calcium from the ash, humic acids from the herbs, and the molasses-fueled bacterial activity created a calm, fertile zone. In traditional indigenous contexts, these ash-based brews were poured not just to nourish but to reset. Compost tea brought visible worm trails in just 3 days. Fermented banana water took slightly longer, 5 to 6 days, but resulted in denser worm clusters and more fungal activity. The ash and herb infusion worked slowly, with worm sightings around day 8, but left behind the most visibly transformed soil. If you need a quick microbial jumpstart, compost tea is your go-to. If you're building a long-term fungal ecosystem, banana ferment is a powerful option. And if your bed suffers from pH imbalance or compaction, ash tonic quietly works beneath the surface to set the foundation right. Rather than choosing one brew forever, consider rotating them across your garden beds. Compost tea can be applied weekly, especially before heavy rain or planting. Banana water works best every 2 to 3 weeks, while ash infusions are ideal once a month during major transitions, before planting or after harvesting. Apply all brews at dusk or dawn, when the soil can absorb their contents without evaporation. Always follow with mulch, preferably shredded leaves, straw, or aged wood chips to seal in moisture and protect your microbial allies. These aren't just recipes, they're rituals. When you make these brews, stir them slowly, smell them, talk to your soil as you pour. This mindset matters. Traditional growers across every continent poured liquids not as chores but as ceremonies. It was their way of saying, "I see you, soil, let's begin again." In our raised bed test, each brew had its own tempo, its own energy, and the worms responded, not only to the ingredients but to the care. These 3 ancient-style pouring methods did more than fix dry soil. They revived an entire invisible community beneath our feet. Earthworms, fungi, bacteria, these beings remembered something in those brews. They responded to what modern fertilizers often ignore: the need for harmony, history, and slow living energy. So the next time you think about feeding your plants, ask instead, what can I pour that feeds the soil? Then pick up a bucket, stir slowly, and let the oldest farmers guide your hand. If you found this guide helpful, subscribe to Hydrohaven for more forgotten soil wisdom and share this with someone whose garden could use a quiet revival. Sometimes it only takes one pour to bring everything back to life.